New you, but same lies. Why your resolutions are going to fail unless you fix this. By February, 80% of resolutions are abandoned. Why? Is it because you're lazy? Undisciplined? Weak? No. It's because you've been lied to. January is sold as this time of reinvention. But the truth is, resolutions fail, not the other way around. I have fallen into this trap too. After years of promising myself, this time will be different, until I discover that one shift that actually kind of works. And today I'm going to share it with you. So watch until the end and learn how to make your habits stick this year. Here's the truth. No one ever tells you. Resolutions are actually by design to fail. Think about it. January 1st comes around and suddenly we're supposed to be a brand new people overnight, like that. Does that sound really realistic to you? No, it does not. According to US News, 92% of all resolutions fail throughout the year. Yep. So here's why this happens. We set goals that are too big, all right, and too big. We rely on motivation, which, trust me, is fleeting. And we think that failing once means we've failed forever. Let me tell you a story. Last year, I decided I was going to get up at 5 a.m. to do the CEO routine. Yes, I was sold on it. Instagram, TikTok told me that this was going to be the perfect morning routine. You know, the kind where you journal and meditate, that whole package, right? And I was so excited. I had mapped out every detail. And by week 2, I hit the snooze button. Then I hit it again, day after day. And before I knew it, I was back to waking up just in time to rush through my morning and get to work. I felt like a failure. But then I thought about it. I replaced goals with systems. And here's why or what I learned. Instead of trying to overhaul your mornings all at once, I focused on one habit at a time. I started with 10 minutes of journaling. That's my thing. That's my jam. Before I went to bed. It wasn't perfect, but it was doable. It was something that managed to fit within my lifestyle and what was going on in my life. And then I added the next thing once that stuck. Small, consistent actions that creates a change that allows us not to have to do it all at once. Let's get real. Resolutions are kind of the fast food of self-improvement. They seem like a quick fix, but they really leave you feeling worse in the long run. And why is that? Because they are structurally set up to fail from the start. Let me go ahead and give you another real life example. My friend, Sarah, we'll call her that, was determined to finally get out of debt last year. She started off strong, really. She canceled all of her subscriptions, she meal prepped religiously, and she even sold some of her old furniture on Craigslist. So, great. Off to a good start. Decluttering and organizing everything. But then her car failed, and her entire savings that she had saved up was gone. And it was like March. She felt like all of her efforts were wasted, and she kind of gave up for a minute. So with that, actual tip number 1, instead of making a big resolution, plan for setbacks. Okay, that's going to happen. So here's what Sarah did instead. In April, she shifted from a resolution to a system. She automated her savings of $100 per week, which was doable for her particular economic situation. Tiny and manageable, ultimately unnoticed. And by the end of the year, she had saved up enough for emergencies. That's the power of starting small, whether it's weight loss, career goals, whatever it may be. Start small with something that you can do and succeed at, like 5 minutes earlier in the morning, not an hour. Tracking what you eat, not cutting out what you eat. Making one meal a week at home, not 7 days. Signing up for one class a week, whether it's fitness or learning, or even once a month. Then once that is comfortable and you have a routine, then add something more, but not before. Ending hopefully with a glimmer of hope that no matter what, you can always try again tomorrow. Let's go ahead and deep dive a little bit into systems versus goals. A goal is really focused on the result, okay? Like lose 20 pounds, save $10,000, $100,000, depending upon your economics. But systems really focus on the process, okay? Systems make those results inevitable. Goals are flashy, great, but systems are really the secret weapon to getting it done. A goal says run a marathon. A system says run for 10 minutes every morning. Trust me, not sexy, not Instagrammable, but it works. Here's another example. If your goal is to write a book, don't set a resolution that says, hey, I'm going to finish a book by this year, some goal. Set a system that allows you to write 200 words. In the morning, if you're a morning person, at lunch, if you have time for that, or even in the evening, if you're a night owl. That's really ultimately less than a paragraph. But at the end of the year, you're going to have 70,000 words, almost an entire book. Set a timer, do the 15 minutes every day, and just write. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just write, or whatever it may be. By the end of the year, you'll be like really shocked at how much progress you have made. And systems aren't just about productivity, okay? They're really about resilience. It's about being able to have that system in place when things go wrong. I know someone who wanted to lose weight, but kept falling into the all or nothing trap. That one, sip of wine or a cupcake at a birthday party, and they say, well, today's ruined. And they quit. But when they switch to a system like tracking their meals 80% of the time, not every day, but most of the time, instead of aiming for perfection, the results actually stuck. And they didn't have to worry so much about what they ate or cutting out sugar or carbs or only eating meat. Motivation is a great place to start, but systems are going to carry you through on the days when you don't feel motivated. And trust me, those days will come. So actionable tip number 3 is really about building systems around the habits that you already have daily. Here's a process that you might want to try now. Think of a habit that you already do, like brushing your teeth. I hope you do. Attach a new habit to it. For example, after you're done brushing your teeth at night, write down 3 things you're grateful for, or do those push-ups, or, read 3 pages of a book. It doesn't matter, but attach it to something that you're already doing. And that's it. Tiny, consistent actions stacked into an existing life, because life is very real. And ultimately, that will also create real change to getting to where you want to go. Write this down. Systems are greater than resolutions every single time. And remember, motivation won't save you. Systems, they will. So action today. Start one system today that works for you. What's one small habit that you can do it? Write it down in the comments because I want to hear from you. Let me give you another real life example. Let's talk about my friend Marcus. Love Marcus. Okay. Marcus had this dream of launching his own business. He had this dream for a while. He would talk about it. But he really kept putting it off for years because he really felt overwhelmed with where to start. Last year, instead of setting a resolution or a goal, I'm going to launch my business, he reframed it. And he asked himself, what is one thing I can do today that moves me forward? For him, it was as simple as researching a business license one week. The next week, he registered a domain name. And by the end of the year, those tiny actions have actually compounded and he launched his business. And I don't think he's ever looking back. He's living that dream. On that note, I want you to also think that January is just a foundation. It's not the finish line, okay? There's no judgment in this over the course of life. This is your story. And I've been there too. Years ago, I wanted to improve my mental health. I know it's something that's taboo and not often talked about, but it's really important. I felt like stress was starting to control my life. Started losing my hair, the whole 9 yards. And I didn't know where to start. So I did one thing. I called a therapist and scheduled for weekly appointments. And I also started writing down one sentence every night before bed. Some nights it was a list of gratitude. Other nights it was just venting. Same with my therapist. But over time, that tiny commitment that I made to myself and to that small change really did something profound. It gave me clarity, peace, and a safe space to process my thoughts and my emotions. If your resolution feels impossible, ask yourself, what is the smallest version of this? Instead of run a marathon, start with 5-minute walk. Instead of eat clean, how about drinking one extra glass of water? It's not about where you start. It's really about what you stick with. So shrink your goals into the smallest possible habit that you can manage. And for everybody, that's going to be a little bit different. Most importantly, give yourself the permission to be human. Here's something I want you to remember. Habits aren't about being perfect. Nobody is. They're about showing up. Even if you stumble, even if you skip a day, a week, shoot, even a month, you can always pick it back up and keep building. Every day is an opportunity to start again. My challenge to you is this. Instead of setting those resolutions, set intentions. Choose one small habit to start and carry into February, then March and beyond. One habit that makes you feel proud of yourself, no matter what, no matter how small it seems. Remember, the goal isn't to be perfect in January. It's to still be standing strong and in your glory in December. Small steps consistently will get you there. So what can you carry into tomorrow? Start tonight. Stay resilient, and I'll see you next week.